time. Although if you can get into the habit of using blenders, that's really good as well. But
It's very good for your health as well.
yeah, not just smoothies, but soup and various other things. We're talking about speed of. Talking about speed of cooking. If you blend it, it's done.
Yeah, and also anything that's a liquid, you digest more quickly and more easily.
Really?
Yeah, and you're more likely, which is probably you should be worrying about. It's actually health-wise better for you. You're more likely to sort of trying to watch the pounds.
Really?
Yeah, liquid. It's true.
Wait, that seems contradictory to me.
Why?
Because if it's easier to digest, then you use less energy to digest it. Which means you're using less.
I am not a doctor, but I think I was reading an article, and it said that things like porridge, because it's all one load, or soup, or blended meals, you are more likely to lose weight, apparently.
The problem with that is they get really boring.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't want to. Soup, lovely soups, like all, with chunky bits and...
Yeah, that's good.
More like broth, They're really good.
I'm going to put this on, because it's going to take ages to warm up.
What are you doing then?
You've got a plate that I could put over it. If you don't have a lid, then a plate... The only problem with the plate is it will get quite hot, so you need to use a glove or something when you're taking it off. But most of it is a bit like that anyway. But even still, it will cut your time down. Over Christmas, not Christmas, over Easter, I was talking with my sister's boyfriend, who's a huge advocate of pressure cookers. And I always thought they were kind of antiquated old things that nobody really use anymore. And it's true, because nobody does. But they like halve your cooking time. They're amazing. You can cook things in 10 minutes that would take you an hour. But it's ridiculous. And it's a very, very exaggerated version of putting a lid on something.
I don't know anything about pressure cookers.
I think it's because it doesn't let any of the steam out. So as well as cooking, it gets incredibly high pressure and effectively is cooking it again. If you pressurise things and it's like cooking them. So you're sort of double cooking it at the same time, but also it changes the texture. So you get a really nice texture on things that would normally be a bit rough.
So how do you know when the chicken is done?
Well, I always have problems with bad pans because I don't know if the chicken is browning or if it's just picking up the scum that's on the stuff that's on the bottom that's going to peel off it. So I don't really know.
You
need to take round and chop it in half.
Sorry?
Take round and chop it in half.
I mean that's what I was going to say. It's often quite a good idea. You want to make sure there's absolutely no pink at all. Can we put the extractor pan on?
Yeah, chicken's not like beef. You have to have it.
Yeah, you absolutely cannot have any pink in chicken because...
No, these are fine. These are right. They're going to get a bit more cooking later.
This one? It looks good to me.
Yeah.
I'll try one of the thicker ones just to make sure.
Yeah, that's the point. If you're checking things like potatoes or anything to check when it's done, always go for the thickest one. So, have another 3 minutes. Now with this, I'm going to leave that in the pan for now. If this was a better pan, this would work a lot better. So whilst that's still... That's not even boiling yet. Alright.
Okay, what's
I don't
next?
know where to put this down. It's a bit dirty. Now, garlic. You got any garlic?
Yes, no, I don't believe so. If there's any garlic in this...
I might as well take this opportunity to put this away.
Good, you want to have as much surface space as possible.
Where's the garlic?
up near the back of that top cupboard. I'll show you that.
Oh, yeah. Now garlic, because generally you buy it enclosed, and the number of, what's that called? A bud?
Now,
A bowl?
what's that?
What's that called?
A clove.
No, one of the things.
Oh.
Anyway, whatever. Because each one of these will have different numbers of clothes in. We're not going to keep track of. We're not going to keep track of them. Just buy it as and when you need it. How many do we need?
I think because your pan's still hot, your chicken is coming
So it's sticking to it.
a little stuck. Sorry, what's the question?
I think we only need one clove.
One clove?
We were on the page before. You double what it says on the page before.
Yeah. So one clove of garlic. And how are you going to chop that then?
It says sliced or crushed. And as we don't have a garlic crusher, we can slice it.
So you want it to be really quite finely sliced.
Very finely sliced.
As thin as you possibly can. Let's turn that off.
Now here, with the peeling off of this stuff, I have the advantage of having nails. So for those of you who don't, if you just give it a little crush, it should peel off quite easily. Chopping board. Right, did I wash that? No, I didn't.
Did you need another chopping board?
No, I just washed it all quickly. If you washing up is an interesting one because everyone does it differently, but no one. It's one of those things that no one thinks about, but everyone does do differently. And if you do it a certain way, it can be completely much shorter than if you do it another way. I've never.
So it's a good idea to wash up as you go along, no?
Yeah. If you wash up as you go along, then by the end of it, you haven't got anything left to wash up except the plate you're eating on. And if you can't wash it up whilst you're going along, so for that pan, at the end, just stick it onto soap before you eat, and then when you're done eating, it'll be fine. It'll be much quicker. Another thing worth noting now is if you chop off the end of the garlic, just the sort of woodier bit. For drying, it's much better to let it air dry than to dry it with a cloth. If you don't need to dry it straight away.
That's starting to boil. Sometimes if you pop the point of the knife down on the board, then it's quite a lot easier to cut, because then also you're at less risk of chopping your fingers off, I find. Well, there you go. Does that feel easier?
Not really.
I know.
I mean, I know the technique, and it does. I'm sure it does generally, but it's always just like what? See, so you get to the end, and you can't slice the end because it's like that thick. So what do?
So you
end up with half of it incredibly finely sliced and slightly mushy.
Now.
See this is now you turn it down. Turn it down about halfway. This is another advantage of hob over gas over electric. Is that if you turn it down, it turns down straight away. But here you turn it down, it's going to take ages.
Takes a long time. So you can leave it for now, no?
Yeah, if you're using a hob or anything, mostly turn it down about half, a bit less, and then put the lid back on. You should be fine. But yeah, for this one, if you're electric, it's probably
just wait for a little bit before putting the lid / plate back on.
I mean, I've just mashed it up. I've chosen to go halfway between slicing and crushing.
But that's good, because if ideally you're crushing, you want it to be as crushed as possible. You can even just go over it again and then
I wondered about that, because then don't you sort of lose the juices? Because if you do that, then the juice...
Oh, I wasn't suggesting you do that. I was suggesting that you bring it all into a group and then just chop over it again. Just like that, all the way over once. Yeah. And it just releases the juices without losing them, I think. Okay.
Right, so that I can leave for now. That, I need the broccoli. No, broccoli on the bottom. No, shit, broccoli's meant to be on the top shelf, isn't it? Vegetables meant to be on the top shelf, meats are meant to be on the bottom shelf, so they don't drip and drain the juices. How many, what's this meant to be? I don't know. How many florets? What's it called, a floret?
I don't know, but I like that word. It says 50 to 60 grams, so do you want to be weighing? This one down. Because may I have one to eat? Is that allowed?
Yeah. They haven't been washed, that's going to be...
Oh, you know, probably should wash it if you're going to eat it raw, but I'm just, you know, my immune system bolstering it.
You got a compost? Have you?
Got compost, yeah. That's fine. This is my own personal.
Have you taken a knife? Or have you taken a knife?
Sorry, there you go.
Check the messages.
I'm just going to put this in the compost then.
So up front? Up front?
Yeah.
Where's the lid? Was this the... This is our lid, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
What's next?
It's kind of... The fine planning's kind of gone awry because of this and this. Where I need a fork.
Yeah, tagliatelle won't be too much longer, shouldn't they?
No, I need to... Well, I'm meant to add the... Yeah, that's fine. I'm meant to add the broccoli.
Into the tagliatelle?
Use the same water, there's no problem with that. Save pans, saves water.
That's great.
I finished the broccoli. It says put the broccoli back away. Washboard. Washing the washboard.
Well, you've still got your garlic there, eh?
I have. But I meant to put this on now.
Okay.
So that's meant to get hot. Oh damn it, it's all gone awry. I'm going to put more oil in. Is that alright?
Yeah, of course. It's quite a lot of burn in there. Did you want to remove any of that?
Good. But it's alright. I don't mind a bit of burn.
Me neither. Give me those cards.
Good for your digestion. Gives you cancer, but it's great for your digestion. So.
Swings and roundabouts.
It's like living in a city. Great for having fun, bad for getting cancer.
Should mention those, isn't it? So,
which would you say is better for the environment, living in a city or living in the countryside?
you know, I would have said living in the countryside, but you're probably going to tell me about the cows and the methane and the
No.
things.
I mean, the cows and methane will be there.
Having to drive.
If you living in the countryside, I presume.
Public transport.
True. Yep. So it's oddly. I mean, the debate rages on, but the general consensus is actually much better to live in the city.
What's next?
Just get hot.
And when that's hot, what are you going to